This is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 38E, the last one, of course. D. We're going to continue with the crude project, which happens to be this. You know what I mean? You can make this look even better with CSS. But I'm not, providing enough for this to look good. You can put you can even include Bootstrap if you want this to look fancy. But the technology, which is this stuff here, doesn't change. Okay, this is just to make things look pretty. Okay, so let's continue. Now, the last thing that we did was we were here. We added this, and we wanted to find out things were empty, right? And now we want to trim. We want to do the old trim, because let's say if somebody put in something like name, like the name like this. If somebody did this. This is how, because remember this is a string. So when you submit the form string, it'll always put this little thing behind it. It's just telling them that it's a string, even though you don't see it. So if you say your name was Old Man PHP, and somehow you kind of left a space like that, it's always going to say that it's 6, 12, 13, and 14 length in size. And we don't want that, because when you save it here, it's going to show up with a space in there. So if one day you need to find out what the length of that name is, it's not going to be right. So what you do is you're going to trim it. You're going to use the old trim command, and that will trim all this out. It'll be something like this. See? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So for now, let's do this. Now, since we already did assign this the actual sanitized filter stuff, and now you're checking here, which is that, of course we're going to keep the same names, right? Because it's the same form data. So we're going to say dot what was it, ID first name, and we're going to say trim like that. And you're going to put in this. Don't get confused. This is nothing crazy. What happens is, remember that the interpreter just goes from top to bottom. So it'll do this. It'll put all this stuff in here. And I already did all that sanitation part. Then it comes here and says, oh, I want to check with if it's empty. And it happens to be that it's not empty. So we're here, right? Well, if this whole thing is not, if the stuff is not empty, of course it comes down here. We're using the same name, which happens to be this right here, right? The variable. So now you want to trim it. You're going to put that within the function, the trim function, and then you're going to send it right back to itself. This time it'll be trimmed. So in that case, if you kind of saw like this, let's say Old Man PHP with a space. This will, well, first of all, let's save this we'll do this instead, okay? Remember, this is just pseudo. There's nothing to do with this. Becomes this, like that. And in reality, so this, if somebody put the name Old Man with the couple of space, it's going to keep going straight down. And it's going to give it to you like this. See? Then trim takes this guy, puts it right in here. But since it happens to be in a variable, you're only going to see variable. And kind of basically this kind of what it looks like. And it happens is when you do trim it, it gets rid of this space and this space. Okay? Hope that was more clear. Let's get rid of that. Now, we're going to do it for all the other ones, right? So we're going to say for the last name, and which one do we have here? Email. This is not, it's always going to be, but it's okay to have it if you need to. You know what I mean? It'll be something like that in case somebody did do it. You can just say, you don't really need to really because it's numbers and it's automatically done for you. As you can see, where are we? It's hidden because that data right here, see? There will be no space. And there's all the cycles. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to continue with last. Then we're going to say email. And of course your temp ID. Don't really need to, but it's okay. It's good practice. Temp ID. Just in case somehow they snuck in their own numbers. So it's good to do that. Okay, so now that you have all this, so I'm going to be using a preg replace function that replaces any script or style sent through it. So in other words, if somebody had it like this, they could kind of do this, like script, like this, and then say alert, and then this, and this, and then close it up like this. They can send that in there. And that's called SQL injection. We're going to talk about that more in another video. But if they did this, we need for them to check for that. They might do that to all of them. They might just want to destroy you. So they'll try to get in all kinds of ways. Okay, let's reset that. So then what happens is, what we're going to do, so we're going to put it right in here. So we're going to say, remember like I told you, every time you're kind of going like this, and then you're going, and then you're going to go to another command. And what happens is you're going to use the same one. You're going to use the same thing. So what you do is, let's cut this whole thing up. Let's put it over here. This we don't have to really worry about. So we can kind of do this. And then we're going to say, instead of trim, we're going to call it preg underscore replace. Let's copy this and put it right in here, and then replace that one with then what we're going to do is it needs like 3 different types of arguments. So what you're going to do is on that first one, I'm trying to remember what it is, but let's go like this and like this and like that. So on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to say, I don't want the ampersand, I definitely don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want the word script in there, like that. I also don't want styles, because they can also put style sheet stuff, so I don't want that either, right? Let's close it up. It's already closed. So then we want, what else did we want? That let me see, I'm trying to remember. Okay, we're gonna do this too, because we don't want any of this too. We don't want the caret. Where the hell is the carrots? Does anybody see her? Sorry, that was my chair. There's the caret right there. We definitely do not want greater than. And of course, now we don't want that to be like an array. And then of course that will be like the end of the stuff. Stars and then question mark. And then let's put a period in here. Period. Then we're gonna say this one, right? Let's see, because we put it in here, so we're gonna do that. Does it look caret? Do 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 da 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 caret da dollar. Should it be? What should it be? Let me see. How about this? This. I'm not escaping those slashes. 1, which does it like adding, making. What else can we add to this? I'm going to close it up. I'm going to say @si, and that should do it. Let me see. Does that? Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to. I should look this up, but it's like I just did this the other day, and I kind of did it like a lot. Kind of what I do, like school, you know. Let's see, we'll put it in there. So if we do something like this, blah blah la la star, then you got this. You'll probably end up failing on me because I can't remember. Let me see, slash. I should have wrote this down. Boot, and that. You know what? I'm going to be more prepared next time. I'm going to bring it up here so that you guys can see to add S1. Could be this stupid chair. Let's see. And then what we want is nothing, because I want to see what I want to do is replace all this crap with nothing. That should do it. Let's take this whole thing and let's put it right in there. I did that right here. Let's see. It was a. I remember putting. Did I spell that? Yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. Then we're gonna do is that. Matter of fact, let's save it and see if it gets some kind of error. Nope, no errors. Good. So now let's go down a little bit, and now we want to strip out all the tags too, just in case for some reason this kind of failed. I want to strip out all the tags. This protects. Let me see. I'm gonna put something here. This protects against an SQL injection attack. You know, blue. This trims out any spaces. Okay, let's paste that. Now this one, I'm gonna put it over here so you guys. Let's do this. Checks if all forms input data. This checks if all forms input data is empty. This checks if all forms input data. Okay. Let's see. All right, so let's get over here, and then we'll say this would be the tag, right? So we're gonna say this. Now let's go like this. This function strips away any HTML, XML, and PHP tags like that. And then I could say let's copy this and save so we don't have to type it again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, we're going to have to get rid of all this crap. So let's get rid of all this. This only takes one. There you go. And then we're going to replace this with strip underscore tags. So we're going to add this. I'm going to do a protection thing like security. But it's going to add a lot. It's going to have most of a lot of this stuff, but it's going to have more. Because I know when people see all this, you see this, they're going to get confused. But don't worry, you won't be confused. Just use all this stuff. I'm telling you, all you have to do is look at this as, okay, if I put stuff in here and I did the insert, it should do that. Let me check the insert. And then you go here and then you check anything that has to do with the inserts and stuff. And this is how you end up learning. Because you can always put a lot of comments on it, but just don't overdo it. Okay, so that would do that. Tags, and you're good. Now, what I want to do is I want to, like the convert the characters, like the HTML entities. Anything that's being sent over, I want to change that. So if I did something like B2, let's see, what is it? I'm going to say the HTML entities function excuse me guys, converts characters to the HTML entities. So this is how it's done. Again, I'll take all this. We might not even have to do all of them. I don't know. I have to check. I have to see. So we'll do this. We're going to use something else. Oh, excuse me. We're going to use this would be HTML entities, and of course you got that. Let's use this for, first of all, let's go here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever's in here, just in case it's snuck in, like an ampersand, those kind of things. Then we're going to say this is a little flag telling it that those are going to be quotes in there. Then you're going to say this, and of course we're using this UTF-8, and of course these are doobie-doo. Now this one doesn't need to because this is a flag, right? So we're going to do it for both of them. So let's take out, let's Let's do this. All right, there you go. Then we're going to cut all this. That might be a little problem, but you never know. So let's see. Let's save it. Let me see if we get any messages. Might have to fix, you know what I mean? So, okay, good. And by the way, see how you got all this? First you got the form. See this? That's all your form stuff, right? Look, by the way, let me show you. See, it's the content type. It's text. It's trying to tell you that this is an HTML file. And the character set is the UTF. I forgot what that was. A United. Well, I'm gonna have to look that up because I completely forgot what those initials said. But that's definitely the US English. So see how you, first of all, see how you got the HTML, but then you have these things as a close for the opening of PHP. So if you go look, let's go to view developer, let's go to view source. See how you notice, like if you come here, see, you have it here at 130. Everything else before this 130 is all PHP, but if you go check, there's none. It's like where's the PHP stuff? Because PHP is a server-side programming language, and you can't see it from the front end. Isn't that great? Protection, that's another protection. It's great stuff. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Okay, so now that we have, we have the entities. Okay, this what we're gonna do is we're gonna so now that's to check to see if that. Now what we want to do is we want to also create a preg match, because I want to also use preg. First of all, we were using preg replace. This is a function, but it also has a lot. It's got stuff for math. We got preg match. That's also for patterns, like matching patterns. So we're gonna do that too, because we want to check that too, just in case. You know what I mean? We're gonna throw that in there. You know, remember this stuff goes. You got computers that are fast, and this is nothing. You know, old notation is usually used for like the for loops and stuff. Because if you got like a 10,000 data, the for loop will have to run that, and then you have to check to see if any of those things going to slow down the the algorithm, and I don't think it would in this situation because it's not that complicated. See, so but we're going to create a preg match, right, that will match a pattern to each of those things, form data. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an array, because I want to compare to what's in the array. I want to go to the array and check. So I'm going to put all this stuff, because you can use arrays for a lot of things. You can use it as a holding to hold document, values, just for short time or temporary, because you're moving things around. You can always use an array. So you can say array, and you're going to get to see that stuff a little later on when you say, oh yeah, I remember him talking about that. So we're going to say array. Okay, and that's the same. This is kind of how you do it. You can kind of do it like this too if you wanted to. I just decided to do it like that. So in here, what you want to do is you also want to check for file name, right? So you're going to say first name, and that's what it's called, right? We go like this, and then we're going to go like that. And this is telling me that this is an associated array. This would be the key, and this will be the value of this key. So in other words, if you need to see what this was, you can always go like, echo, let's write this down, like this, and then you go like this. Remember, we saw that before, and then just use first name, like this. That's normally what you would do to see what's the symbol, what would the value be. Okay, I know you've seen this before. Anyway, so let's continue. So right now we want to add the actual, what was it called? I want to make sure I spell this right. So put it right in there, like this. Then I want to do comma, and I want to do one for the last name. So we'll say last name. Let's put a space. What do you think, guys? A little space so we can see it better? Yeah. And then we're going to say this. Oops, forgot to mention that I've got to change this. I'm glad I caught myself. This has got to be last. I know you guys must have been like, ah, man, go back there and change that. Okay, let's do temp ID. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say last. See, I wasted my time. Sorry. Let's push that in there. We're not going to do that with the other one. So let's do this one. Last email. Then we're going to do last again. I know I've done that too before. I was showing somebody, they were like, oh, he couldn't. There you go, boom. Now in here, situation is last name. Did I spell that right? Last name, and that will be this. It would have died. They said when we got this done, you would have seen it that it would have like failed, and then I would have said, oh man, I wasted that time to look. When I should have had it done in the first place. Okay, so we got that one. We're gonna check this guy too. So let's go to you know what I want to do too? I also want to check. Well, let's do that in a moment. Let's do this. And we'll do this, and then let's give it a little space. And we're gonna put in this in here. Ah, there you go. That will be the array that we're going to be using, and we're going to use the for each loop because that's what is used for the arrays. And we're going to read. Let's see if I spell this right. This is first name, ID, first name, last name, ID, last name, email, the email. Okay, so we're going to use the for each, right? And then of course don't forget the curly. It's going to be doing stuff. And then we're going to call this guy, but we're going to get as. We're going to say as, little keyword there. Then I'm going to as, and we're going to say $key because that's this first part of it. It's a key. This is your value. So you're going to go like this. This is how it's done. Oops, together. And then you're going to say $value or val. What do you think? Value. That's good. Let's do value. Let's give it a little space there. All right. So now that you have that, you got this inside here. Is what it does. It's the magic. We're going to use the preg match. So we're going to say if. Oh man, my freaking legs are really restless legs syndrome. Sucks. Kills my legs. Can't sit down for too long. That's why I have those tables that kind of go up. So let's see if, but it's broken. That's why I can't bring it up. Leave it to my nephew to do that. Alright, so let's go pre-g underscore match because you want to match it. And of course you got your, and then you says or, that's two of them. Let's write this down. Let's do this. And then say or then say maybe one last time, because I want to check for two more things. That would be the I'm going to be 1, 2, 3. I guess for all of them, I want to check for several SQL keywords, which we want to check. So I guess I could put one more there. Let me see. We got insert, delete, update. What else do we have under? Even get. Okay, that will be good. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna check. We're going to check for, now to do the match you need to have like these two things here. That means start of this pattern, and I want you to check that, and then plus case sensitive, so you're going to put it high. So I want you, so in case somebody kind of does this, I'll put it over here, like delete asterisk in the name of the tables, just in case, right? Under the SQL stuff, in case, you know, so over here it takes care of the SQL, but you never know, they might just do delete this and that, and who knows, with a click, with a little glitch or something, might end up getting it done. So what you do is you prepare more. Not a lot of the security stuff that I'm doing right now, you're going to see in a more full-blown, more like you need to do this, because I might add extra stuff for your security, and you can always take that file and always use that file as your reference. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I might even put a whole bunch of more of comments on it. I'll have it set up so that way I don't have to type it all up, and then we'll talk about it, because we're kind of typing it up right now here. You know what I also like to do? I like to line these things up here. See? It just gives it, like, for the next guy, getting that practice. The next guy is going to want to, you know, deal with. He has to look at the stuff, and if it can get confusing, man. I know, I've been there. So you'd be like, okay. Then you'd be cursing. And so let's do this one. Now that we have this one, how about if we cut and paste all this, right? Stick it into the parentheses. Let's go like this. See what I mean? It takes us so much time. So what we're going to do is we're going to check delete, and now we're going to check for anybody who wants to insert stuff. So we say insert, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use what we got too. We got update, right? Because you use update to update something in a database, and then you want to do the select. You don't want nobody to get your information, right? So we're gonna say that's what select does, and you've seen that already when I did something like so. I did something like this, remember? Then you say from, and then you say table name. I'm gonna do it like this, okay? Table name. That doesn't mean anything. That's just telling you that any table will do. Anyway, we don't want that. So this will take care of it. It'll see that and it'll say, oh, okay. But we're going to say or and or and or, because not everybody's going to have and. Nobody's going to put SQL here at the same time. I mean, that will be like a very unusual. But if it says or, no matter what, even if somehow you got a glitch and it kind of went to the next one, it'll still catch it because you got it all here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, what should we do? So we say echo. We're going to say, sorry, you have illegal. You have a, let me see. Sorry, you have illegally an illegal, how about that, insertion, an illegal insertion, like that. And then we'll do this, right? Every command, everything needs a semicolon. JavaScript will put it on there for you. That's why I like doing this here, see? Because in JavaScript, you can't put it over here. But if it sees this by itself, you know, let's say if we kind of did this. If you see this, JavaScript will see this by itself and then say, oh, I'm going to stick this in there. So then when it goes to the next line, they're going to say, wait a minute, what's this? You understand? PHP don't do that. You can kind of do this or this. I'm in the habit of doing it like this, I'll do it like that, but when you get deeper into more production, you're working with a new company, you might have to just put it over here, okay? So now we have the insertion. Now this belongs to this one, as you can see. This one belongs to this one, so that's good. And that's what's good about having these, instead of having that regular Microsoft Notes and all that crap Microsoft. All right. I go like this, right? This is how you do the location. Keep it as L, location, caps, the L. Then you're going to put in where you want to do, where you want to go. This is a go-to. Like in COBOL, we got a go-to. Something like this. Go to top, something like that. See what I mean? That's how they used to be in COBOL. COBOL is like the language. It's all mostly all English like that. It's fantastic. It was one of my favorite. That was the first one I learned. We got so good at it that the instructor gave me a part-time job to help the students. $50 an hour. Did 2 hours a day for a long time. About a year and a half. Okay, so let's see. We got okay, we want to go right back up there, but with a message, right? Because you kind of did this, right? See this right here? You want messages to kind of pop right down here when you do something. So you want to send them right back up there, but with a message. So we're going to say HTTP / since I'm working in the local host, this is what it be, and I got 80 because I changed my port. Nobody can get to it, but it's just another way because I had other ports for something else. So then what do you do? What's the name of this? What's the name of this? Oh, here we go. Remember this? We put this in the other video. So if you go like this to check what this is, it'll go down here and go here. And if for some reason, let's give it a space. For some reason you somehow got in there somehow or called this from some weird way, then you say you are not allowed to access this site. Now, if it was like Google, we can put it here that, hey, if it's Google, it's okay. You know what I mean? Because Google is going to want to find your stuff. You will need to run this stuff. So, but, which is cool. You can kind of put it over here. If it passes Google, good. And then you can kind of do this too if you want to. I mean, it's a lot of things you could do. So let's get back. Just regress there for a second. I regressed there. I regressed, I guess. Okay, let's see. Let's go here. And now remember what I told you, man. Always take it and make it a habit of doing this. Because I remember there was a glitch and I'm like, wait a minute, it was supposed to go. I remember seeing the message and I'm like, wait a minute, why isn't it going to where it's supposed to go? It kind of kept going because somehow the glitch, we call it a hit when what was it in a beautiful company, because that's what the network people used to call it. But I know for us we used to call them glitches inside within the actual compilers. So always have this, get into practice. So if there's a problem, because see, this will get you out and it won't touch this, but for some reason something didn't happen to this, you want it to stop it. Okay, now right here we want to call your program, right, which happens to be this right here. script PA. Then you're going to pass in a query string, which is, this is how you always start one. And of course, you're going to call it whatever variable you gave, right? And we're going to say 4. So that way, when it goes up there, it's going to hit here. Then it's going to have like error 4. And then the system will go over here, keep continuing. Of course, this happens fast, okay? And then it's going to come here. It's going to say, okay, 4 right here. You have a you have a legal insert and a legal insertion. You can kind of put it up there like that too. Let me see. My English is that's it. So then you go like that, right? So in case something happens, you don't do it, because a lot of times you get this message real fast, but then it goes here. You're only gonna get it real quick. That's why a lot when I did the what was it? Where did I show it here? Was it? Oh yeah, like right here. See, it'll do this instead real quick, but then it'll give me this, and it'll give it to me like a box before I hitting this. Then when I hit that box, then it comes here automatically. Will jump into number 5, right? Error 5, which will give me this message. I guess this is for something else too. All right, so that's it. We're gonna go straight down. Let's go right back up to where we are. So we're here. We did this, right? And then let me see. This one belongs to this guy. So remember I told you, so you don't get all confused. Just kind of go like this. And then this one belongs to this one. So we'll just do this. Like that, see? That way you know. That way you would know for sure. Now we're gonna add caps to the first letters of the first name and last name. Let me pick, just to see if I did this right. Let's see if there's an error. Nope, very good. So then what we're gonna do is we want, now let's say somebody did this, right? See, it's a caps because I did it like that, but somebody would have did something like Jack, like this. Well, you want the database to kind of be uniform. This is why you have T's, get it, like the first letters caps, because I made it that way, just in case. Now, if somebody put this as a J, like this, it'll go through that, but it won't do that because they already did it. It said it'll believe it or not, in the computer real quick. I mean, it happens in seconds, milliseconds. It'll see this, but then of course it'll replace it with this because I told it to do that. So it doesn't matter. But if you did this and then you go like this, then it'll do it right away, right? Same thing. Doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to add caps to the first letter, to the first name and the last names. It's basically what you need, because in the email it doesn't matter. It could be caps, small caps, I mean numbers, I mean those that don't, we're going to have our own little security thing with that, and it's coming up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first name and last name. How about we cut this? I'm going to put it right. Now this one is part of the post. Where is this? Where are you? Are we even finished? No. Oh yeah, right here. See, post. That will be for the insertion, because we're inserting this information, so everything falls in here. This stuff right here. So when you put this information here and you hit this button, this is what we're working on. Which is why you got, well, this one is just when you're coming in from here. But once you got that and you do the insertion, then of course you got to make sure the database is open. You can get to it. Then where is it? Right here. And that will be that. See? So, which would be this. So now let's go here And now what we're going to do is we're going to I think I showed you how to do this. Yeah, I think we did when we did like the normal, like all the extra functions that PHP has, which I have more. It's coming up in I don't know, when we hit the video 40s, in the 40s. We'll see. Okay, now right now what we're going to do is we're going to say UC word. See, upper character in a word. This upper character and then a word. UC word. Like that. That will do it. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. It has. See how the colors? So I knew there was something weird there because it wouldn't be blue. It would be like this color. There you go. That's all right. You see, these in editors, they know. All right. So now we have this. So now what I want to do? Let's add a little comment there. I'm gonna say adding caps to first letter to first. How do we do this so you don't get confused? First name slash last name. Is that cool? All right. Excuse me, sir. All right. So should we have a space? Yeah, there's a little space there, so you know. Now what we're going to do is, let's add another one. What we want to do is we want to validate now. You say, wow, I thought that what we would do. Yeah, it was part of the validation process, but we're going to do a little bit more. Because we want to use the preg match now. And we want to match it against patterns. So when you say check, you know, with the patterns, it'll check between both of them what you put in and what the pattern says. Well, let me just show you. So we're going to use, let's say, a validation check with preg match. See what we did here? You're matching it here with just this. It's like you can put anything here, really. If you could say, if you can read something, put it in and check this out from database. This is how you can check for stuff when you use this. When you use the search right here. When you do the search, you just have to put something in here like the email. You do search and then you get that person. But it uses those type of techniques. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna go here. Now we're gonna say if, you know, since we are under this, should we move it over? I haven't been moving it. That's all right. I don't know. Maybe should we move it? That's okay. You know, like indenting it so it can look better. Usually, it kind of, when you do stuff, you kind of do it like this. See, if. Then if you got another if, you kind of jump it over. Then if you got some stuff within that if, you jump it over again. You know what I mean? So it's easier to read. I didn't do that with these because it was part of this right here. But I should have moved it over anyway. Doesn't matter. But it's for you to read, to help somebody else when they come after you. Alright, let's do this. So it says if, and then we're going to say curly, right? This is the curly one. I wonder if I have like, possibly not. Maybe an else if. Let's see. I have to think about this a bit. Okay, we're going to say not. If it's not, then get out, like what we did here. If it's not. You'll find this, get out. It'll do this, okay, if it's empty, and if it's empty, and if it's not empty, it keeps going this way. If it's empty, get out. Like that, that's how we're going to do it. So we'll do the same thing here. We'll say, where are we? we'll say preg underscore match, and of course, you know, it has two parentheses because it is a function, right? Plus, we also want, you know, something. We also want to check. You know something. We're only going to check for these two guys. So what we're going to do, because you know why the number is a number, we're going to know that nobody. We can put it in there, but we'll do these two guys. So because we want to check nobody puts in anything crazy in there. You know, like names like this. Look, if somebody kind of did this, Andy, 123. Well, wait a minute, that's not a real name. You know what I mean? If it is, well, too bad. But this ain't a real name, so it's gonna split it out. It will have to be this, something like this. Same thing here. Here you can have all kinds of crap. So let's go here and let's just make it. Now we're gonna start this pattern, and we're gonna start it with that carry. Remember that carry from before? That told you. Let's get. Where are we? Right here. Get rid of that because I don't want no patterns. No want nothing. I want to disrupt. So now we're going to put it as an array, right? We're going to say that I want letters that are like A to Z. You see how it is small? Which is allowed to do, I can do this and it'll take it. And then of course this guy will give it, will make it into this, like that, right? So it's okay. Or if I just want all caps, then this is what you do. This is what you do. See, you want smaller caps and large caps, and then anything, any names. It could be any big. It could be big. It doesn't matter. So we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna close that. This is how you do it with this one. See, this is the beginning. This is the end. And then of course, because you have this forward slash, you gotta put it in there. So you gotta, because that's the beginning of the for. See, this is the beginning of this stuff, but you also have to, for the match to work, like here, see? Which also matches whatever's in that string. So you need that. So you can put that in there, and then we're gonna put, what is it? Before you know it, just make sure you put it in quotes. Sorry about that. I forgot. So you got your quotes, you got this, you got that quote thing here. Now we're going to say this name. Like that. Is there space? Yes, that's good. Good space there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also say, well, how about or? How about or? Now, and means like, you must check for this and then check for this. Of course, they're both going to be checked, but in this particular thing, you got to make sure you have something here to put in there. So it's another way of. So we got this belongs to. Where is this? This belongs. This is not picking it up. Okay, here we go. See that? That belongs to that. So that means this particular one is missing. Wait a minute. This match here, there's something definitely not looking. Wait a minute. How the hell did I snuck that in there? It's like this. This goes to this, and another one goes to this one. Perfect. See, you go like this. Do. Now we here, see, because this is a separate one. One. Then what we're going to do is or. I'm going to use the or. If it's not there, or this. So we're going to take, let's copy and paste this whole thing. Like this, see? And instead of doing first name, of course, you're going to say or the last name. So we want is let's see, make sure I spell that right. Let me see. You got the quotes and then you slash. I know that's what means patterns. And this is within the actual pattern. The beginning of the actual pattern is here. and it ends here. This is wildcard. Could be any words, long, could be any size words. There is a way also to check that you only want, let's say you only want 4 letters, then you can't have that asterisk. You will have to put something like this. Where's that character? No, that's not the character. Where is that character? Oh, here it goes, right here. And you would say something like for instance, Andy's 4 letters. You could, but he could also make it into Andres or Andrew or whatever names, Angela or whatever. So we can kind of do this. We say, well, 4 to, let's say, how big is those names? Let's say 15. Unless somebody's got a name that's huge. Okay, let's say 30 just for safekeeping. If the name is 40 through 30, now what happens if the name somehow ended up being 31 or 32 or 33 long? It'll spit it out. But right now we're just saying it doesn't matter what the size is. All right, so what we're going to do is we do this, right? And then we're going to say, well, what happens if there is a problem? I mean, what happens if there's numbers and stuff? We got to do something, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to echo a message and you're going to get them out. So you're going to say there's a problem. Maybe we should say problem big. That's okay. It's up to you. Problem with the form data format. Like this. And then of course you want them, let me see. This is a if, this is a, where's the other if? Okay, it's kind of moved over. It moved over just one. Okay, that's okay. This moved over one. Yeah, that's all right. So we're going to say header. Remember, header. That's the one that's going to redirect you out. And remember what I told you, man. Safe side, put the exit right underneath here. Then over here, same thing. You're going to say this, and you're going to say local, location. Make sure the L's caps. Then you say semi, and then you open this up, and let's give it this. Where are we? Let's do this. Make sure I change that. I'm going to change this to, let's see. Oh, I got an extra thing there. We're going to, 4, it can't be 4. 4 was, what was 4? 4 was this. Sorry, that's no same shit. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to curse, guys. I'm so sorry. 6. Sorry, illegal insertion. We will have. Let's give it that same message. Let's bring it out. I remember I was doing cut and pasting when I was doing that. Remember? So what we're gonna do is that's not. We're gonna use this. This number. Thought I had it over here to tell you the truth. Guess I was cutting and pasting so quick yesterday. The other, what was it? 2 days ago? 2 videos ago? Alright, that'd be good. So then you do that, okay? So let's see, we're back here. It kicks it out. This is your for each. This is part of that. It kicks it completely out. Isn't that great? Well, guys, that's a lot right now. Let me see if we save it, see if there's any problem. We'll fix it up later. Fix it up. No problems. Very good. So what happens is, you know, we have reached the end. And if you enjoy this video and you learn about more of security measures, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, because this actually helps me. Okay, it helps me grow my channel. And until the next time, a good night.